Hello everyone! In this video, I will show you how to check and repair an electric bike battery. First of all, before checking the battery, it is necessary to check the charger to see if it provides the correct current. My battery is rated for 48 volts, so the charger should also provide these 48 volts. For this, we use a multimeter. We plug the charger into the outlet. We take the multimeter and set the switch to measure 200 volts of direct current and connect it to this output terminal. The central red is positive and the side is negative, and we measure the voltage. The voltage is 54 volts. This means the charger is working properly. We will repair the battery. Now we need to check what voltage the electric bicycle battery is giving. For this, we also set the multimeter switch to 200 volts of direct current and connect it to the outer wires with the positive to the red and the negative to the black. The voltage is currently very low, about 6 volts. Yeah, that is. There is a problem with the battery. Let's start its repair. First, unscrew all the screws on the top cover of the battery with a crosshead screwdriver. And carefully lift the cover upwards to avoid tearing the wires. Now you carefully remove the battery cells from the casing. Do everything smoothly to avoid breaking anything. After this, you need to check what the current voltage is on the entire battery block and what voltage is entering this BMS, the controller board. To do this, connect the negative to the board's input and the red positive to the battery's power output externally. And let's see what the voltage is. The voltage at the BMS board's output is V, and the voltage at the BMS board's input is 52 volts. To check where the problem is, whether in the BMS board or in one of the connectors of these batteries need to be removed from the BMS board. Now that the connector is removed, we need to measure the voltage on each from pairs. There is a negative, the outermost wire. Let's start measuring from the opposite second terminal using a regular small needle. Try not to short any contacts and start very carefully measuring the voltage, starting from the first wire from 0. Place the needle carefully to avoid shorting 2 contacts, otherwise there will be burning. Measure the voltage between the black and the first terminal. Voltage V. Now this voltage should increase. Each time this number should be the same. This way we will check each pair without removing its block. Record this number 4 and 1 first. And so we continue to check and record the numbers between the battery blocks. Now carefully insert the needle into the second connector. Measure the voltage. Voltage 8 and 3, 8 and 2. Increased exactly 2-fold. And so we continue further. Thus, we see that on output 7 and 8 there is 0. This could be due to a contact break or a malfunction of some cell. Now we will look for what the problem is. I will mark these wires with a marker to follow them and find out which pair they connect to. I followed the wire, and here is the problem. It is visible that the wire, for some reason, output 7 and 8, have come unsoldered, completely detached from the soldering point. And for some reason, it came off. Either it was poorly soldered, now it needs to be soldered back on. Here's one that came off, and the same thing happened on the other side. You can see the detached wire. Why did it come off? Most likely it was a poor soldering job. Now I'll solder them, and we'll start testing how this battery behaves. We strip the wire of insulation in a small section. The wires from the ribbon are very thin, unreliable. I will use rosin flux for tinning. With a short motion, we solder the wire back in place. Now everything is in its place, just reliable. We cover it with paper on top to prevent a short circuit. After cooling down, we attach the solder back in place. The insulation, but everything is well covered here, so there should be no short circuit. Now we just need to check the voltage at the output. We connect the tester and measure the voltage of 29 and 3 volts recorded in the table, and 3 and 7. Now everything should work. Thus, based on our table, it is clear that between these numbers there are approximately 4.142 volts, which means it is within the norm and the board. The BMS is operating normally. It simply cut off when the contacts were broken. The voltage to the battery to ensure that the other battery cells do not discharge and fail. Now we connect this comb, the connector, back to the BMS board and check how the battery will charge. Connect this connector very carefully, because there are thin leads here which can be bent. Therefore we do this work very carefully to avoid breaking anything. Insert it all the way in so that the connector hasn't come loose. And let's check how the batteries are holding up, how many volts they are producing. Now we can reinstall the battery pack into its casing and check the voltage that comes out from this block. If everything was done a bit sloppily, we could have definitely fit more various seals here to prevent the battery from rattling inside. Seals to prevent any rattling inside the battery. I'll do just that. Now let's connect the charger. As you can see, the battery is charged, but the charger isn't turning on yet. After that I will add more here. Seals to prevent the battery from wobbling inside. It's possible that this extra movement caused the issue with the 2 wires breaking. To prevent the battery from bouncing around in the casing, I'm going to use a piece of pipe insulation. I'll cut some pieces and pack them in very tightly so the battery doesn't bounce around anymore while riding. After that, we close it. The battery, casing. After that, we measure the voltage coming out of the battery. Here is the voltage. Volts. The battery is fully charged and should work on the bike. Let's go check how the bike will perform. We're installing the battery on the bike. And we'll check how it works. Let's check how much charge is left. The charge is full. Turn it on. It also shows a full charge here. Now let's check how the rear wheel spins. Now I'm going to lift the wheel and press the throttle. The wheel is working fine. In normal mode, but last time it wasn't spinning completely. You watched a video on how to repair a battery for an electric bike. DIY. Leave your feedback and comments, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. Stay with us. Goodbye, everyone.